Okay. So this is through my eyes, the way I see Navaly, and also what I have seen and heard and witnessed through my own experience. I'm sharing with you all. Next, please. Navaly is a very beautiful village. It has so much beauty of paddy fields and palmyra and very rich in nature. Next, please. Also, Navaly is very famous for poet Soma Sundara Pulavar and also the artist who is called the father of drama comes from Navaly. And also before the war started, Sri Lankan Tamils, they had made their films in Sri Lanka. So we had our own film industry, and in that Nirmala is one of the movie which is directed and produced by and acted also by Navaly people. So Navaly is a very rich in art and culture, and one of the person, his name is Kamalanathan Vaidyalingam. He's an artist and he lost his wife during Navaly bombing, and he says he was able to overcome his pain and the Navaly massacre pain by engaging himself into the art. And that is how most of the Navaly people able to kind of come back into life through the art we have been practicing in our lives for a long time. Next, please. The name Navaly came from having 9 temples in Navaly. Navam means 9 and Alayam means temple. So 9 temples have gave the name for Navaly, and also we have Hindu temples and Christian churches together, and we live together as one community, and we share our celebrations together, and we share the food during the festival with all the other religious communities together. So it's a very peaceful place for different religious groups to be together as one. Next, please. So we have some primary schools and one secondary school. And I went to Navaly St. Peter's School for my primary schooling. And when the bombing happened, 44 students have been killed on that day. And it is also the students from Navaly and also from other parts of the village who have been killed on this day. Next, please. So Operation Leap Forward is the military operation happened on July 9th, early morning, around 4 a.m. Sri Lankan military started this operation, bombing and shelling the places. It's called Valikamam North. So they started that, and because of that, the people over there have moved from their homes and they started to come to Navaly. So these are the image of Navaly main road and the places where even bombing happened close by. So because of the people from other parts of the Jaffna town peninsula came to Navaly. This place, Navaly, was crowded with people. It was everywhere. It was full. The roads were full of people. It was almost like walking, like how Moses led Israelites. That kind of a journey we were able to witness on that day. So until the bombing happened, Navaly was a very safe place for people to find refuge. And that is the reason Navaly was so overcrowded. When the bombing happened, we lost so many people, including them. And I have my story, Navaly Memories. You can read the whole story of the bombing and what happened and everything on that. Next, please. So these are the images of the bombs which destroyed the church and temple. And that is my personal journey, because we have seen enough images of people being killed in the church during the Easter bomb attack. But prior to that, we didn't have anything like that. I have not seen. So it was a very hard thing. And my faith was lost during that time, because I never thought people, when they take refuge at with God, from God, how can that happen? And also, we were always informed by the Sri Lankan government to take refuge in churches and schools. So until this moment, we always found safety, because 1987, when the IPK came, we lived inside the temple for months. So temples and churches have been a place of safety for us until this moment happened. So for me, basically, I will say my safety was destroyed at that moment. I couldn't feel safe in this world when this event happened on that day. So it is also a journey how I found my faith and safety. And in my um, YouTube video, I have shared that with you all. So the next slide, please. So this one is the destroyed buildings at that time in 1995. And again, I like to mention that those days we were not allowed to talk about, there was so much fear of bringing these photos to the world, because it is also really, very difficult for, there was always a threat from the Sri Lankan government for us to let the world know what has happened to us. So there's so many images, so many things have not been shared with the world, and also the stories, unless it is ICRC or Bishop who shared. So these are the photos my father took at that moment. And it was, he really took a risk of taking these photos. And one is our paternal house, the one which is with the water tank. So I just want to let you all know how difficult we had to share our story those days to the world, because there was so much fear of sharing the truth to the world. The next, please. So this is Navaly today, and Ruki Fernando, he will share it later with us. And this is from his images. And I like to share the house which is totally destroyed. That there is also a miracle story there. That house had so many people in the house from other parts of the village were there in that house. And when the bombing happened, all of the people who were in that house, who the ones who took refuge, were all killed at that moment. But except the owner of the house, the woman who was miraculously, nothing didn't happen. So there is so many miracle stories also in this whole thing, but it's covered with pain. There's so I just want to let you all know that, another friend of mine shared, it was just a couple of minutes ago, she was with her grandmother and she just walked away, and then the bombing happened and she was covered with sand and thrown by the wind, and she was safe, but her grandmother died. So there are so many stories like that, miracles plus pain, and it's so hard to unpack the miracles and the pain together, because there is so much painful memory to talk about the miracles also at the same time. Next slide, please. This is the memorial we used to have after the Navaly bombing happened, because when the Navaly bombing happened, we left the Navaly. We all left. There was nobody left in the village, and we didn't have opportunity to have funeral service to these people. And also some of the bodies, we never couldn't find them. Some of them were, it's like a piled of body pieces, so there was nothing to see a body. And also, as we have left, people who were in a very good position of were buried different places in Jaffna, and we couldn't bury them in Navaly. So we didn't have proper grieving and mourning for our loss, because we wanted to live, we wanted to find safety, so we couldn't spend time with our loved ones who were dead. And also it was evening, so it was getting dark, so that also made us, we ran to save our lives. So there was not proper time given for this, and then continuously we were struggling to live. So that was the one of the hardest part of this Navaly massacre, is we didn't have time to mourn and grieve, and that is something we are still doing it for a long time, and it is continuing. Next, please.
Just a very quick thing, Maureen, and all others. If you get locked out of the meeting, please return on the same link, and we can connect to that. Okay. Please continue, Maureen.
Okay, and this is the monument site which is built there. So I just want to let you all know that there is a monument site built for them, and we have masses and prayers to remember them. Next, please. And this is the mass which is celebrated last year, and the Sri Lankan government issued a court order not to commemorate the memorial at the memorial site, but they were allowed to do the mass inside the church. So but still, despite of everything, people were able to do at the monument also. So these are the images from last year during the pandemic. Next, please. So this is at the monument last year, and I also like to inform you all, three of our friends, Sinhala friends, Pasan, Amalini, and Ruki, were there at this moment in that place in Navaly. So that I believe it was a healing for all of us, and we are really grateful for Sinhalese joining together with us and supporting our healing journey. So we are so grateful for all the people who have been together, staying with us throughout this time of our journey, to give us the strength to share the truth about ourselves. Thank you. Next, please. And this is the memorial site. So I would love to invite all of you right now. Just imagine that you are there right now at this place. And let's take this time to offer our prayers to these souls who have left this world in a very unexpected way.